Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Miyuki and this is Let's Make Art, and we letter a new project every week together, and we are doing a new one. It's called 15 Ways to Draw a Header. So it's essentially 15 ways to draw one word. But I'm going to show you is because this month's theme for lettering is a fresh start, and we're lettering in a dot journal. So if you don't have one, you can join along with us and you can buy on our website, join along, or you can just join along and follow the project. You don't need the box. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Okay, so you will have your journal if you do have our box with us, and then that will also include the project sheet that shows all the different styles that we're going to be going through. There are, I realize I usually say the steps on here. We can do it on the side. The only step is to learn 15 different styles. So I'm just gonna go for it and show you guys. So this is gonna be a quicker video. There is a practice worksheet. If you do wanna practice on here, you could download this on our website at letsmakeart.com, or I'm gonna show you how I like to do it in my actual journal. So keep that off to the side. These supplies, I'll go through the supplies that I'm gonna be using, are the Tombow dual brush pen. This color is, I don't remember what this color is called, but it's 623. Do you know what it's called, Kina?
Something purple.
Yeah, or it might be, okay. Anyways, I'll look it up and then we'll add it in. 623, okay. This is a micron pen. This is the 05 one. And then the third type of pen is, I'm gonna be using this Fude Touch Sign. So this is a brush pen. So these two are brush pens, and this is a smaller micron pen. Okay. So to jump right in, let me find so this was if you weren't here and you didn't see that, we did this last week. So you can go back and watch that if you want to see how you can lay out a calendar layout. So I'm going to be doing 15 different ways to draw a header. Actually, Keaton, can I do it on this side first? Does that work? Okay. So I'm going to do the word Friday because today is Friday.
Friday.
We don't have the rest of it. So there are going to be multiple different ways if you want to take this, and you can do the same the same styles and follow along. But if you want to do a different word, please feel free to go ahead and do that. So the first one is I'm going to use the Tombow dual brush pen, and I'm going to write out the word with my just block font. So nothing fancy. Maybe draw it a little bit bigger than you might be used to. Also, I want to say the reason why I said these are headers are if you have a journal, you might want to write, maybe it's writing to do, or on the next one, we're going to go through goals next week together. If there's different lists that you want to do, headers are a great way. So you might be drawing them bigger than you might be used to if you're used to just writing in your journal. So, okay, so draw the word a little bit bigger, and then take either your touch sign pen, or I'm going to use my micron pen, and I'm going to write it in the middle right here. And I'm going to write Friday in a script font. Just kind of overlap it. I'm glad I did this because I'm showing you what not to do. So actually it's totally fine, but what I want to do is I'm going to do it one more time. And what I want to do is I want to have my lettering, my script lettering, match up to the actual letter. So on this one, you'll notice the R was right here, I drew the I here, but the I on the back is right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread out my letters. I'm gonna be more mindful about it. So just add more space in between. Like that. So it actually overlaps the right one. So that's number one. Maybe we can add little numbers for you to do that. Number two, I'm going to stick with this pen, and I'm going to do this in a script. I'm taking my time, doing the thin on the up, thick on the down. If you have never heard me say that before, we have a beginner lettering series that goes over thin on the up, thick on the down on lettering and how that's created. But essentially it's just created from the amount of pressure. And so for this one, I'm just going to use the micron pen again. And I'm going to outline the letters. So it looks like it's a bubble style type of lettering, and it pops. So you can also do this with the brush pen if you'd like. We can, don't want to zoom for that. Okay, actually I'm going to keep talking. When you get to the insides, the bowls, so the inside of certain letters, like the D and the A are called the bowl. So what I'm going to do is when I'm doing this, it's okay if it overlaps a little bit over. It doesn't have to be exactly on what the purple is underneath.
Are you saying bulb?
Bowl.
Bowl.
Bowl?
Bowl like a soup bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Does it sound like I was saying bulb?
I wasn't sure.
I learned.
Double check.
Since I say
Go
words.
forward.
Stop. Inside joke. Okay, that's one. The next one is, actually, here what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to do all of the cursive ones first. So if you're following this, I just want you to know I'm not going to go in the exact order. So that way, I'm just going to show you different ones. Okay, so that's 2, 3. So I'm going to start with my,
Well,
yeah.
it's 2.
This is 3.
Yeah.
This will be number 3.
Okay.
Also, I thought I pushed my mic, and I didn't hear me tease you a little bit.
So I just said inside joke and they didn't
Yeah,
know.
then they're like, oh, what inside joke?
I say some words funny, apparently. Everyone does.
Everyone
now
says
I want
words.
to see what
Everyone
words
says
you
words
say.
differently.
What words? I say, what? I would just say it.
Forward,
Forward.
which
I played forward. Forward. I say a
Forward.
word one. Anyways, we're moving forward. Did I say it right?
Yes.
This one, all I did was I just overlapped. So the first step was I did it with the micron, and then this one I did it with the brush pen. And so you can see it just pops a little bit more rather than it just being black on its own. So that's another script style. A jump off of this style is, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm doing my script. Squish that a little bit, and then instead of just outlining the outsides of it to make it bubble, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it look like the open fillography style that we've learned. And so what that is basically is I'm going to go thin on the up, so I'm just going to draw a single line, and then my thick on the down, I'm going to draw double and leave it open. So thin, thin, this is thick on the down. So whenever I'm saying that, it's when my hand is literally moving down. So this is thick on the down, thin on the up. So thick on the down here. So I'm going to leave this open. So this is thick on the down, thin on the up. And so what I did here is if you know it's thick on the down, you can maybe leave a little bit of it open. It's okay if you didn't do that. Like that. So then it looks like it was fully open. This is open right there. Would you say that's open?
which
I'm trying
part?
to think if you would call that open. I would call it open.
Yeah, I'd call it open.
I'm trying to think if there's another term. But so thin,
It's lovely. I'm a big fan of that one.
thick. Yeah, it's Keenan's favorite. Okay, so that one pops like that. Let's see, what other script ones? Oh, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4/5 because pretend like I didn't do this. You can also do it with a brush pen. So you'll still do the same lines, but I'm going to be using a brush pen. So you can see that the black lines will be a little bit thicker than they are here. So if you want your lettering to pop even more, I would go and do this. And so what's happening is that I'm just pushing a little bit harder because this brush pen is flexible, so I can create a thicker stroke. Like that. So then you can see the difference between the FRID and then the AY. Okay. Another script style is, so it's jumping off of this one, is doing what Fillography is. So I'm going to draw using the Micron pen. I'm simply just drawing my script style. And then the same thing that I did here is I'm going to draw an extra line to create the thick downstrokes and leaving them open. If you want to take it a step further and mimic brush lettering, pause that thought. I'm going to show you guys. So this is essentially what this is creating is I'm using the brush pen. So I'm thinking of thick and I'm applying thicker pressure. So thick on the down, thin on the up, thick on the down, thin on the up. So I'm going slower. So if you guys can see, there is a variance in size strokes. So there's thicker strokes and there's thinner strokes. So what this style is creating is this, but with a regular type of pen. So if you either want to leave this open to create that style, or if you want to color it in, and let's say you don't have a brush pen or you're not really comfortable with that style, which is totally okay, this is how you can fake it and create the same look. So you guys can now see when you're looking at this, this still has the thin and the thick variance, just like this has the thin and the thick variance. You're just creating it afterwards. So that's what Fillography is, which we also have a beginner series on that. Okay, so those, and then you can also take this a step further, and if you want on any of these, well, I guess on this one, is I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow. So I'm just taking, this is my, you can use either the brush pen or you can use this side if this you feel more comfortable. Just adding a little pop to it. So I'm keeping my shadow on the same side. So it doesn't matter if you want to do it on the right or the left side, just keep it consistent. So that just pops a little bit. Okay, I'm not counting anymore, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm just trying to think if there's any other script ones. I think that might be it for this script. Okay, so we're going to move towards more block style. So this is your script style, and this is block lettering. And actually, I want to pause for a second and talk to you guys, because if you're new here and you've never done lettering with us, I just want to explain that lettering is different than your handwriting. So especially if you're using your journal, you might think, this is my notebook and I'm just going to use my handwriting because that's the way I write. This is a little bit different, and you'll notice what I've been doing is I'm taking it a lot slower and being more mindful, and I'm trying to think about this is an art form. So it's a little bit different, and that will help you think that you can't do this, because I know you can do this. You just need to take a little bit of time to go a little bit slower. So that was the script style. This is the block style that I'm going to teach you. These next ones are a great one if you're not comfortable with doing a script style. So lettering is for everyone. It's not just if you want to do script or block font. So for these next ones, you can take it a few different ways. So let's see. So one of them is, I'm going to take this open style, but I'm going to do it with my block font. So I'm going to start out with just drawing my letters, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, so thick on the down. So I'm going to open this up and draw a new line. So thick on the down here. Maybe the curve is kind of a thick on the down, so like that. So thick on the down. So I'm leaving it open again. And this is just with my block font. So you can do that, or not or, and/or. You can do what Keenan and I love to do and just color in the thick down spots.
Someone really loves Friday.
You. Friday. Yes, that is one of them. And then another way, whoops. I'm going to take Friday again. Ooh, this is a cool teaching moment. So if you noticed, this is how I naturally just wrote it without thinking about it. This time, I'm going to change up and make the look a little bit different. And I'm going to essentially move these parts, this part, and this part of the letter up. So what I mean by that is when I draw this letter or these strokes, instead of drawing the F kind of, or drawing the second part of the F a little bit above center, I drew it more at the top. So this is going to essentially look like the letters are a little bit taller. So then when I draw this circle part, I'm going to draw it higher. So it looks like it has long legs. The I and the D you can't really change. Maybe you make it skinnier if anything. Then on the A, you can draw it high, just tiny top of the Y. So that's a cool way you can make it a little bit different. And then from there, I'm going to make these a little bit thicker. So I'm going to do the same thing like I was doing here, but I'm going to color it in. And you can either use a thicker marker. If you don't have a thicker marker, just use what you got and just make the lines a little bit thicker. And then what I'm going to do is, so this is like as if it's a more block or bubble style. And then I'm going to take what I did here and add a shadow, but for this shadow I'm just going to stick with my black. So you can do it where you want to do it purple if you want to pop a color. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a thin line to the left and just leave a little bit of space in between. That overlaps a little bit. Like that. And then I added, if you have, pretend this header was right here, you need a lot more room. Maybe if you want it to have more emphasis, you can add some fun lines around it. It's a cool way to do that. Let's see, I keep closing this. You can, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to go on the next page. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to mix these two styles. So I'm going to draw my lettering, maybe all mixed up. So see how I did the top, or I made the parts of my word higher. This time I'm going to do it lower. Yeah. See what that will look like. So it's more bottom heavy. That looks cool. So these are the two different ones. Sorry, I didn't do them side by side. But this is with them higher and this is with them lower, the crossbars. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So for this one though, I'm gonna do this faux style. And if you don't want to put it as a color, maybe you add a pattern inside. You can do squiggles, you can do dots. You can make it look like a candy cane. Oh, what if you did it in red?
That's what I was going to say. It'd be awesome. Make a peppermint candy cane.
Yeah, so that's another one. Ooh.
Use said candy cane to stir your hot cocoa.
Oh.
Delicious.
Keenan loves hot cocoa. Okay, what else do we got for you? Oh, sign lettering. Okay, so this is a fun one. This is a block style or a bubble style of lettering, and if you have a pencil, that might help to do that. I don't know. We have a mechanical pencil actually in our box, but to do more of a bubble style, I suggest to draw out your letters in pencil first, and then what you're going to do is you're going to outline and envision a thin line around your letters. So you're not tracing over it, you're drawing around the letters. So they look like they're hollow. Then erase. And I call it sign lettering because it looks like the marquee type of style signs. So you draw dots inside you can make them different sizes. to have a fun look like that. These I feel like should be bigger actually. Okay, that's another one. Oh, on this one actually I added, to make it pop even more, I added a shadow. Similar to what I did here, but I just did not have a line in between or a space in between. So it just hugs right up against it. So you're essentially making the part where it's a shadow just thicker.
That looks awesome.
It reminds me of, what was it, Schoolhouse of Rock? There's a show. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Never mind.
I'm not familiar with Schoolhouse of Rock.
It was an educational show that I used to watch as a kid.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just don't know anything about it.
Don't know why I think of that. So, yes, I'm just coloring it in and making those a little bit thicker. So it looks like...
It makes me think of like cartoon lettering.
Yeah, for sure. Fun. Okay. Few more. Going back to my brush pen is 2 different ones I got for you.
Scoot that up.
Up. Yeah. 1. So I'm just pushing really hard. So when you're doing this, if you ever do want to make a thick line like that, you'll notice that I kind of came from the bottom of it, or you can come from the side. But I suggest to come from the bottom of it because I can use the full amount of this. So if I were to come from the side and push really hard, the line would look like that. Excuse me. And then if I came from the bottom, I can make that fun noise and push it a lot harder, and it'll create a thicker line. So these are 2 different ones I want to do. Is use that just kind of as like a swipe of a color, and then overlap and draw your letters like that, or you can draw them inside. So remember, these are all headers. I guess you can use them for anything, but that's what those examples are for. So you can see there's so many different ways to draw one word. Also, I'm going to dissect this for you guys. It's super minor and you might not realize this, but when you're doing Ys, you can do Ys so many different ways. You can either have it like a V and a line like that, or sometimes I draw them like that, which I guess is a lowercase y, but sometimes I make it as a capital. Or when you're doing script, you can either have it the same thing where it's like that, or you can make them where it's more of a U type of shape. So there's a few different ways to do Ys. Let's see. I think the last one I've got for you, who knows if this is 15 or not, I hope it is it's kind of similar to this where it looks more like a cartoon, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar, so it's a combination of these 2, where I'm going to draw a square, and then I'm going to write the word inside. And then I'm going to have it look like this is popping off of the page. So instead of, like I was saying, drawing a shadow on my actual letters, I want to make it look like this is kind of a piece of paper and it's popping, it's levitating off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a shadow. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker than normal. So do that, and then I'm going to color it. That actually looks cool.
That does look cool.
You know what? There's a new style. I'll do it again. Maybe, I don't do lowercase very much. You can do it like that. So then in doing the same thing, but I'm going to actually color it in. So now it really looks like a shadow. And the paper is popping off.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool. So those are different styles. I think that is it for you guys. Yeah, there's a lot. Oh, I guess the last one is, I'm just gonna show it. If you wanna do, it's a combination of basically this. It's basically if I were to color this in like that. So it's another style if you wanna add a little bit more color. So you can you can riff. Do you say riff? Is that why I just said that word? Riff? Is that a word? Yeah, you riff off of bees.
Yeah, riff off. I think that's a musical term, a riff off.
Oh,
Yeah,
which I didn't.
I like it.
doing
It's
that.
nice.
Okay.
Well done.
So I was gonna say you can take any of these and just change it a little, slightly, a little bit to make it your own. Woo, that was great. So these are so many different styles. This isn't necessarily a project. It's more just different ways that you can make your lettering your own and add it to your own journal or add it to anything in your life. That's what we're here to do, is to show you different ways to create lettering. I hope you had fun with that. We have a, oh, you know what I realized? I'm gonna plug it in. This month we are doing something different where each day of the month that we're doing a different word. So if you have our welcome note, I'm just gonna show it really quickly. If you have our welcome note, if you didn't know this, flip it over to the back and there's a daily prompt. So we've been doing this in our Facebook group. And so in that there's a word. Today's word is Friday, which is why I did this and I planned that out. But each word, if you want to practice along with us, maybe you take one style a day and you practice that. But this whole thing of this month is your fresh start. I just want you guys to give it a try. Don't feel like it needs to be perfect and just enjoy it while you're doing it. We have a Facebook group, like I said, called Let's Make Art Lettering, an Instagram called Let's Go Make Art. And have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.